So welcome to the School of Christian Mysticism and to our continuing study, if you like, of spiritual practice, Lectio Divina, on Mark's Gospel. We have now got to the 13th chapter, and in this session we will be beginning on chapter 13, verse 24, to the end of the chapter. So as usual, it's a shortish passage, and we have videos attached to this one that you can look back on to go right from the beginning of Mark's Gospel if you'd like to, and follow the Lectio Divina practices that we've already had together, some of us together. So this time we're going to record live in a small gathering of some of the members of the community. You're welcome to join us if you're just watching, and to take part in it just by following what we're doing. So after the first reading, as usual in Lectio Divina, it may be that words or phrases will rise for each of us from the text, and we might offer those into the space where we leave a few minutes. And then after a second reading, the same. In the practice of Lectio Divina, it is usual that each reading takes us a bit deeper within us, and those of us who have practiced a lot, this can happen quickly. So the second time, when offerings of words and phrases occur, they may be of a deeper nature, more heart-centered. The intellect begins to let go its grip, or we let it go. And then there will be a third reading, and after the third reading, a period of about 10 minutes of just silence, stillness, as the word, phrase, images, whatever is happening for us, they go deeper. Scripture, of course, is the living word of God, and so it speaks to us directly in the moment. And each time we read, this is likely to be different. But what is God stirring in you as you listen? You can be with that. And then after the 10 minutes of silence, those of us who are here in the community will just offer something of our experience of the practice. So now let's be still. When it comes to the readings, Joe, if you would read first, and then Malcolm, and then I'll take the last one. Wherever you are, whether you're here live or watching, just check in with your body. Might like to adjust your position a little bit, just to be comfortable. Let your shoulders relax. Often we walk around with our jaws clenched. Just be aware of that and let it go. Feel relaxation spreading from your head down through your neck and your shoulders, through your body to your feet. Whatever you're feeling, that's okay. Just let it be. You might like to just notice your breathing in and out naturally without exercising any control. Just observe. Today we're reading from different translations, so the words will change a little with each reading. But now the first reading.
From the Revised Standard Version. But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will be falling from heaven, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. And then he will send out the angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. From the fig tree learn its lesson. As soon as its branch becomes tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see these things taking place, you know that he is near, at the very gates. Truly, I say to you, this generation will not pass away before all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But of that day or that hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Take heed, watch, for you do not know when the time will come. It is like a man going on a journey, when he leaves home and puts his servants in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to be on the watch. Watch, therefore, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening, or at midnight, or at cock-crow, or in the morning, lest he come suddenly and find you asleep. And what I say to you, I say to all, watch.
Lest you be asleep.
After tribulation, you will see the Son of Man coming, as if in clouds and mist, with angels.
After that tribulation, are there other tribulations, Lord?
You know that he is near.
Watch. Notice.
When the branch is tender,
After the tribulation, You can't control his coming. Stay awake.
Watch and pray.
It all happens spiritually outside of time. You don't know when or how, but it will happen if you're awake.
Try not to miss it. Watch.
Feel. Are you tender?
The angels will help you.
Yield.
Summer is near. We know when there is tribulation, there is tenderness. Summer with its fruiting and its blossoming.
The Son of Man is closer than your own breath. Can you breathe?
Second reading. But in those days after all that suffering, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will be falling from heaven, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. Then he will send out the angels and gather his elect from the four winds and from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. From the fig tree, learn its lesson. As soon as its branch becomes tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see these things taking place, you know that he is near, at the very gates. Truly, I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But about that day or hour, no one knows, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. Beware, keep alert, for you do not know when the time will come. It is like a man going on a journey when he leaves home and puts his slaves in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to be on the watch. Therefore, keep awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening, or at midnight, or at cockcrow, or at dawn. or else he may find you asleep when he comes suddenly. And what I say to you, I say to all, keep awake.
The world is traumatic. We all have trauma. And as the trauma gets deep, it seems the world and everything we know falls away. But the word remains. And you will see.
For you do not know when the Master will come home.
He comes suddenly.
Open the gate. Open the door. What I say to you, I say to all.
My words will not pass away.
The stars will fall from the sky, the stars of one's egoic expressions.
It's okay. There are angels. You don't need your ego.
Gathering up the elect, that which is elect in us.
Leave the slaves to get on with the things of this world. And be the doorkeeper keeping watch. Mindful.
You don't know when. You don't know what will trigger the response to open the door. Watch. Stay awake. What is moving in you?
Knock and the door will be opened.
Pray. Pray with faith. It will be done. The third reading, and this is the New International Version. But in those days, following that distress, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. At that time, men will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. And he will send his angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of the heavens. Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see these things happening, you know that it is near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will certainly not pass away until all things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. No one knows about that day or hour, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, be alert. You do not know when that time will come. It's like a man going away. He leaves his house and puts his servants in charge, each with his assigned task, and tells the one at the door to keep watch. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know when the owner of the house will come back, whether in the evening or at midnight or when the cock crows or at dawn. If he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to everyone, watch. "10 minutes, silent. So we might begin to return to noticing our bodies and our breathing. Begin to rise from the meditation and the contemplation to our communicative, everyday ways. Just move a bit and when you're ready, just open your eyes. And we will have about 20 minutes in which to share anything that we would like to. And the way we normally do that, we can do now. So we give each other space, but we just put our hands up when we feel like saying something. And I will try to remain attentive and watch and invite you to speak. Joe?
I found that quite powerful. I think the part for me which struck me most was about the branch and the tenderness. And you know that summer is near, and I think it's in the Gospel of Philip. There is the difference we're told between winter and summer being the time of harvesting and a similar meaning here, I think. And it's just that tenderness that it's I'm aware of it, an autumnal process in myself, and a kind of tenderness of actually loss of leaves. But that sort of somewhere in the old-fashioned words in the prayer book, there's the quick and the dead. that quickness, the quick in one's nails, that tender place, which tells us that there's something living. For me to just that experience of staying open to that rather than trying to pretend it's not there or deaden it in some way seems very important. To stay with it, to stay present. So, and as a sign that things are changing. And I was also reminded there's a Sufi story of a man that goes to visit a holy man. I think this is how it goes anyway. And this is about the watchman, and he knocks on the door, and the holy man calls out, who is there? And the man says, oh, it's me. And the holy man says, oh, I don't know you, go away. And so then he goes and practices and prays for a long time, and then comes back, and same thing happens. And on this occasion, the visitor says, oh, it's you. And the holy man says, oh, now I know who you are, and lets him in. And so there's something about that that we know when the Father in us, I suppose, knows that when we are in a state of presence and unity, then the door is opened. Something like that. A muddle of words, but
Thank you, Joe.
Mhm.
The tenderness and the courage and the persistence in prayer. Yeah. Malcolm?
Lots of things really, but I'll just focus on the sun and the moon and the stars, all the sources of light in this world going out, worldly knowledge ceasing to cut it really, and instead receiving spiritual enlightenment when the Master comes home, as long as we're watching for it. This focus on watching, being mindful, as we call it today.
Yeah. Almost as if it's necessary to lose those lights that you mentioned for the enlightenment to be noticed, for it to be able to come in. Dawn, I can see you.
Yeah, I think, as Joe said, it's very powerful passage which describes our spiritual awakening, really, doesn't it? And the darkness of the night of the soul. And my own sort of spiritual awakening came out of a traumatic experience. But it says so much. But for me, I was reminded also of Hildegard von Bingen's Greening. So, like Joe, I was struck very much about the tenderness of the branch ripening, and in that we're looking for that truth, the spiritual truth that is enduring, the word that is enduring. That when heaven and earth has passed away, there is this enduring pattern that the Son of Man brings with him, and we're part of that pattern, so that when we're awakened, we are experiencing that pattern that's outside of time and place, and that as it said about the four winds, we are in all directions at the same time, so that we become part of that enduring divinity, that enduring force of God, really. So it was, very. I think the most important message for me in terms of we are fruiting the summer, it's having an openness of heart, and that we have to be present, as Joe pointed out there, and as Malcolm said, we have to be mindful in every moment. But it's about giving and being love, really. So it's the fruiting of love for me, and that's the pattern that that's enduring. And the summer and coming of the Son of Man is the coming of love, really, which connects us all.
Thank you, Dawn. This theme of noticing and keeping watch is coming through strongly. And greening. Joe?
Yes, thank you, Dawn. With regard to the greening, I also had an image during that about the tender branch of, how sometimes one's not sure whether a plant is alive or dead, a woody plant, and if you just scrape with your thumbnail the bark just very carefully to see if it's green underneath, see if it's alive. And so I had that image during the meditation.
The bark doesn't come away so easily when there's green, does it? It just peels off if there's not.
And it's just kind of, if it's dead, it's like woody underneath, isn't it? As well, woody and dry. Yes, I always regret. You have to do it to find the green, but I always regret sort of because it's tender.
Yeah. For me, there was something when Lisa, you prayed to God. Is this? I can't remember the words, but it's something like, "Does this all have to happen again? Is this going to happen again?" It's not, and so I found myself contemplating that. Okay, so in the summer, and the greening and the tenderness, but then it's going to be autumn again, and then it's going to be winter, and then it's going to be spring, and it's going to go round again, and it's going to happen again. And I remember reading a few years ago Thomas Keating quite a lot, a Cistercian monk who tried to give the world, and it still happens, centering prayer, and he saw the process of centering prayer as divine therapy, or in terms of divine therapy, and it has a circular motion to it. You keep coming back, and if you know what centering prayer is, it's a bit like meditation, but it's instead of a mantra, it's got a word or a phrase to bring us back to presence, but there is the intention of giving ourselves over to God, to the healing and to the divine therapy. And so we might keep going back over the same ground, the same traumas or traumatic responses to traumas in our lives. But when we come back, we're not the same. So I was thinking enlightenment as well. Is enlightenment really one event and then everything's great and you're the Buddha all of a sudden? But I think it would be possible to just bliss yourself out if you decided, right, okay, I'm enlightened now. I don't need to have any responsibilities. I'll just live in a hut. And or it would be helpful if I get a community together so people can feed me. And even just having ice baths every morning, the body and the mind will start to enter a state of quite calm bliss. But it doesn't stop there, does it? If it does, then surely that's delusion and it's not enlightenment at all. It's escapism. It'll lead to escapism and just ignoring traumas or anything else in us. So yeah, I don't want to suggest God's answer to you when you say is this, but for me it's got to keep happening again and again and again, and the waiting and watching is noticing that's happening, and it's okay. Might seem like, oh, haven't I been through this already? Haven't I done this already? Am I not healed from this? But it's deeper each time, and it just goes deeper and deeper. Yeah. Malcolm?
I wasn't going to mention this because it seems a bit peripheral, but perhaps it's not. I mean, you're talking about therapy and healing. Over the years, I've been prone to getting episodes of atrial fibrillation, abnormal heart rhythm. And for the past 4 or 5 days, it's been constant, except yesterday during contemplative prayer with a group of people, I realized that by the end of that, my heart rhythm had completely come back to normal for the first time in days. I mean, it went off again when I engaged again with the world, but it was, and today, at the end of today, when you said, Tim, come back to your body, I came back to my body and realized that once again, my heart rate was totally normal. It just steady like a metronome. And it still is. And it'll no doubt, I don't know, it might go off again when I engage again with the big world out there. But there's something very deep about contemplative prayer. You never see that on a list of things to do when you've got atrial fibrillation, but perhaps it should be. And that the healing effect, physically as well as mentally, of contemplative prayer is there. Sorry, it's a bit peripheral, but
yeah, I don't think so at all. Is that that's a physical symptom, but is it linked to anxiety or trauma or not?
Not really. It's a physiological thing. I mean, it gets worse with anxiety, I suppose, but I'm not normally anxious. So.
No, I can't imagine that. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Joe?
Yes, Malcolm, it seems really relevant to me and what you're saying, Tim, about healing and Thomas Keating and centering prayer. Yeah, because healing is about coming into wholeness, isn't it? And into that state of unity for as near as we can manage it. And yeah, So in in healing, this is why any of us involved in it, we're not talking about necessarily cure, are we? We're talking about healing into wholeness,
Mm.
from which cure may or may not come.
Yeah. It's totally different to medicating something to stop the symptoms, isn't it?
Mm.
Through the symptoms,
Mm.
the symptoms are the teacher.
Mm. Yeah, this is happening, coming up again and again in this reading, isn't it? And but to me anyway, it's about
Yeah.
symptoms are
Yeah.
the teacher. Mm.
I think, Lindsay, did you have your hand up too? No, I thought I saw it.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But as I'm unmuted, I'll just say how comforting I found this passage. Part of me wanted to go, oh, no, it's not always near. How can he be so near? And yet the overriding sense was comfort, and the words, my words will not pass away, just really, really struck me. And like Dawn said, that spiritual truth is enduring, and I just felt like all the spiritual truths and the wisdom and the love that's ever been uttered or written down, it's all still there, and and the love, the love is always there. So I found it really, really comforting. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay.
And I found what everybody said so profound.
And that is profound. Whatever the tribulation, whatever the anxiety or whatever it is, the words won't pass away. Just come back to them. Just come back to them. They're here for us.
Sorry, that the new growth and the vulnerability of the new growth, just that image really touched me as well, Joe, when you were speaking about scraping off, and seeing the green underneath, and just like the new growth's tender, and yet it's so strong and vibrant in another way. It's the greening of nature it's so powerful, and sometimes look for those little signs that feel really tender and small, like a taproot or something, but it grows strong if it's tended. And sometimes if it's not, but if it's tended, it's more likely to grow strong. Love that greening and tending. Thanks.
Thank you, Lindsay. So we've come to the end of our time this morning in this live session. But if you are watching this and you would like to join us for a live session, usually on a Monday morning, it's quite a small gathering, usually no more than 10 people. But you'd be really welcome to join us. Just get in touch with us at the School of Christian Mysticism. You can look that up on the internet, the School of Christian Mysticism. And now, once again, let's just return to stillness. Thankful to each other and to God for our time together this morning. Peace.